Thanks for coming in, everybody, and coming and checking out this show. Let's give it a couple more minutes to let everything catch up here. Listening to that sweet music coming from Mr. Steven Ignoramus.
I like Locs.
Good morning and welcome to Ed's World, where it's always morning, even in the afternoon. I am your host, Jay Edgar, and I've got a friend of the show returning after a great big move that he just got done with, and it looks like he might have frozen up on Discord here.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, he didn't freeze up. He was just sitting still.
I was just still. I got you, Ed.
Welcome back to his first live appearance on this show, Chris Locs from Locs Takes. Welcome to Ed's World.
Going on? What's happening? How you doing? How's the life?
Doing good. We've had something. We talked a bit off mic about some things that have updated in our lives. You just moved out of the hellhole known as California.
I did. I got out of California. I'm so thankful. Oh my god. Thank you. Yeah, I'm up in Washington now. I'm actually in the same town that Rachel Dolezal lives in, if you guys remember her. In Spokane, Washington. I haven't met her yet, but I hope to.
Now, I was curious. I thought about this just a second ago, but I think we talked about this the last time you were on the show. But are you native to California, or were you a transplant out to there?
No. I'm a transplant. I originally grew up in New Jersey.
Okay.
And I also lived in Quebec, Canada for a while. When I was young. But yeah, no, East Coast, United States, New Jersey. Real close to New York City, actually. Yeah.
Well, as you can see from the flag behind me, I take a little bit of disdain with New York City, and not just for its politics.
Yeah, you're a Red Sox fan. You know what? Baseball sucks, so it's fine. I'm not a huge baseball fan, but that's all right. You can be a baseball fan, I guess.
Well, we do have a pretty packed show going on tonight as well. Of course, we've got impeachment news to talk about, so we'll talk a bit about what happened over the past week and what might be coming next out of all of this here. 2020 is upon us, and we actually had some voting today, and I haven't seen any results yet. As of going live, they were still starting to tally stuff, so we'll know stuff afterwards, and the people that are listening to this on the audio platform can scream at the radio tomorrow, but we'll talk a bit about what was going on there and some other stories that have gone along with all of this. Coronavirus has hit the United States, so we'll talk a bit about what's going on there, how this all started, and what it's like to really eat snakes and bat soup. We've had some foreign news, which we don't talk much about on this show, but some things that we've needed to talk about. Brexit, of course, is official now. We'll talk some of the news stories that happened there, and Trump has penned a Middle East peace deal. Is this the two-state solution that everyone said that we didn't want? We'll find out. And finally, to end on a little bit of a lighter note, we will be talking about some Trump derangement syndrome as well. A car smashed through the Mar-a-Lago gates ahead of Trump's visit, and Antifa protesters went out to protest a trash cleanup? We'll talk a bit about that. It's going to be all of this and more over on Ed's World. Thanks for checking us out live on YouTube, Twitch, DLive. No Facebook. They still won't connect to us. I'm still getting zucked currently. But we are also on Periscope for Twitter. So if you don't want to deal with Facebook, you can go over to my Twitter. Follow me at EdsBlock Twitter with a 1 in place of the I, and watch the whole video over there as well. Otherwise, you can catch us on demand on YouTube as well, or over on BitChute.com. This will be uploaded. Or if you'd prefer to take us on the go, you can catch us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. And if you're on iTunes, please remember to leave that 5-star rating and a good review. That always helps us move up the charts. Lastly, Ed's World is proudly partnered with the Freedom Scoop Media Group. We are competing for viewers right now with the generational gap, unfortunately. because of West Coast time differences, of course. But you can go over and check out the generational gap over there. You can check out Stephen Ignoramus's daily shows, his concerts, and the fact that he's a machine and he's constantly streaming. You can check him out over there as well. And there are going to be some changes coming to Freedom Scoop in the near future. It's all a little bit hush hush right now, but look forward to some news coming up off of that. After a lengthy introduction, our favorite part of the show is always to check out what's going on with our guest. Now, you've been here a couple times, but as we said before, things have changed. But why don't you go ahead and tell us a bit about yourself?
Hey, yeah, I've been here a couple of times. This is my third time or something? Is
Yes,
that right?
third time.
Yeah. Yeah, so Chris Locs, aka Mr. Behavior, I am a podcaster, I am a YouTuber, I'm what I like to call myself as a ludologist. That's someone who studies games. um, and I like to stream video games and things like that. I did just move from, like we were talking about before, from the hell that is California to a little bit calmer Spokane, Washington, and I have a lot more time to be devoting to my craft now that I'm in this situation. So that's actually a really awesome move, and you will be seeing a lot more content from me very soon. Very soon. As soon as like after this,
Oh, that's soon, huh?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Well, since you are telling us that you do want to go ahead and put out a lot more content out there, why don't you tell us how you actually got into creating content for a living and for a hobby?
Yeah, so actually, you know what? I actually just got paid by Twitch for the first time, so like I'm officially a pro streamer now. But yeah, I got into doing it. Actually, you know what? It's actually been a really twisted journey at this point. In this stage of the career, I guess I could say from the beginning. I was doing this podcasting and kind of video production for this company in San Francisco called Music City, and that was like, oh god, I actually found a marketing plan that I wrote for them recently in 2014, and I kept it because I actually worked really hard on that thing. But so I was working with them doing like podcasts and like videos and stuff, and that was 2013, 14. And I stopped kind of doing that, focusing more on like music playing in bands and things like that. But I started getting back into this because I think I've said this before. Like I started listening to a lot more podcasts and watching like videos and things like that, and realizing like, wait a second, like I could do this. Like these are just people who have opinions. Like I have opinions too. Like you know what I mean. And I want a piece of that. I want a piece of that, I guess. So I started doing a podcast. Actually, my first I don't know if I've talked about this one on here. My first podcast that I started doing after getting paid to do it and just doing it for fun was actually like a pretty left-wing show. It was called It's My Turn to Talk, I think. And I was like, I think I was still pretty blue-pilled, still pretty left-wing, whatever you want to call it. And it was just very interesting. So I did a couple episodes of that, and then I don't know, I guess I got red-pilled or whatever you want to call it. I started doing another show, the Locs Take Show, which actually is now more of a video series now that I do with like an avatar, and the podcast has kind of morphed into something else. But yeah, I started getting more passionate about political issues and things like that, and so I started putting that more. Actually, it's funny because when I was a left winger, I guess I wasn't really like super political. I would talk about like social things, but like from what I now know as a left wing perspective, but not because it was political, but because it was like the quote unquote like right thing to do. And I eventually kind of like started talking about politics more when I like became, I guess, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that like being red pilled or whatever, being like right wing is a more politically aware stance? Because I would argue that.
Well, just being red pilled is, I think, more. It's not necessarily going for the Republican Party, but
Yeah,
being more
right.
understanding of what's actually going on, more so over than what the mainstreams are trying to feed you is what's going on.
Right. Yeah, I guess so. It took me a while to get there too. Like I feel like I'm there now, right? But like even before, like maybe the first time I was on this show, like I was still very much like kind of, I think I was like trying to push myself a little bit further right. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And like now I'm kind of like, I've kind of like tapered, like I've kind of fluttered down, right? I'm like, I feel like I'm a little bit more like, God, fucking people are gonna kill. They hate centrists, right? That's a bad word. People
Yeah,
don't
that's what
like
I'm.
that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Absolutely. I love that take on that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I can't think I would consider myself like center right, you know, because I still like don't agree with a lot of you know, supposedly like, you know, Democrats or whatever you want to call them, which I actually have a whole problem with that term now, just being a blanket term for like left winger or liberal or whatever, just because like there's so many partitions. I think on that side, I think that there's a lot more unity on the Republican side. Not necessarily unity I like either, but you know,
Yeah. Yeah,
I
they're
would
getting
argue
scary too, I gotta say.
right. It's just everything's extreme, you know, and I was trying to push more into that extreme area without really even realizing it, I guess, for a long time. Um, and now I just kind of, you know, I think everything's a little bit funnier than it should be, probably.
I always have to laugh a little bit when I hear people say that the right wing is united right now when, what was it, just 2 months ago we were talking about the Groiper Wars?
Oh yeah, well that's yeah. Oh man, I did a video actually, um, which is pretty fun. But that whole thing where they were like those guys were going to the turning point uh, and like asking them really direct. I thought it was pretty funny.
It
I
was.
did. I thought it was pretty funny because those guys have points. You know,
Hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, they have points. Do I necessarily think that all of their points are good? Like, no. Like the video that I did about Nick Fuentes, I made it very clear I don't agree with him, but that doesn't mean I don't understand where he's coming from. And I think that's kind of where that idea kind of like got infused into me over the past probably year. You know,
Hmm.
it's just kind of like, you know, there are a lot of very extreme opinions. I can now see how a lot of people arrive at those extreme opinions, though. You know, and I'm a lot more understanding of it than I was previously.
Well, let's go ahead and check in with the live chat here and see what's going on over there. I want to
Live
remind
chat.
everybody that's watching over on Twitter, the Periscope, I can't see any of your comments onto this, so jump on into either my YouTube channel, which is linked in my bio, or my Twitch channel, or even my DLive channel, and come over and check us out over there because then I can read your chat. And if you're over on Facebook, you're not seeing us because, for whatever reason, Restream won't transmit to Facebook anymore. Ron Helton, my biggest fan, has popped in and says,
Ron, what's up, man?
Yo, Ed and Chris, I've 3 live streams open right now. He had to correct himself. Steven is on mute, and I'm listening to this convo and the generational gap at the same time.
How? How are you listening to both conversations at the same time, Ron? How, Sway? How?
He
That
is a
doesn't make
man of
any
many
sense.
talents.
He's got like one headphone in one conversation and one headphone in the other conversation, like splitting it. It's like when two people split the headphones, but except for it's one person, and it's impossible.
Anyway, let's talk about this impeachment thing. So, of course, the big news of the week is that on Friday, a Senate floor vote said 51 to 49 that they were not going to hear any more witnesses, which at this point leads us only to come down to the final vote, in which the Democrats will need to find 67 votes to remove President Trump. And I don't think they're going to be getting there. I think this is going to be a pretty cut and dry acquittal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean that's probably. I don't. I don't even understand. I made a point on my podcast to not really talk about impeachment at all because I didn't think that it was going anywhere. I still haven't made any videos about it.
Hmm.
Even if like there there seems to be to me from the very beginning when I read the memo, I will call it because it's not a transcript, right? It was like a memo. When I read
Hmm.
that of the conversation, I literally was like, I don't understand what the point of any of this is, and I just tuned all of it out. And now it's like gotten to a point where I did hear about this, that they didn't want to hear any more witnesses. But I also heard that like there was Democrats that were like, we're gonna vote to acquit, like Democrats in the Senate. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Mm-hmm.
like you have a Republican majority, you have Democrats in the Senate that like don't agree. Why are we even still here? Why are we even still here?
Well, part of the reason that we're still here right now is given the fact that it went through the House of Representatives. We do need to see it through constitutionally. There's a process that has to be taken
I
care
mean,
of.
wait. So you mean because the process has started, we have to finish it?
They have to get to the end of it.
I mean, yeah, I hear that, but like, oh my god, like, it's so embarrassing to me that we have elected officials that are like so willing to waste our time and money on things that like clearly won't pan out for them
Well,
over like vendettas.
Well, the thing that's going on with that, and part of the reason that we're having some of the arguments that we're seeing right now, is the fact that they wanted to hear more witnesses, which they were supposed to collect all the witnesses during the House impeachment inquiry. They were supposed to get all the witness testimonies up in there, and then if the Senate had any cross-examination questions for any of these witnesses, that would have been the time to do that. Is going through the Senate trial. But now that they're going to vote not to hear any witnesses and just take whatever the House testimony was, if they would have actually voted to get the witnesses, which, like I said, that was on a pretty razor thin line at that point,
Sure.
this would have been going on for more time. This would have been going on for months
Right. That's
longer at
right.
this point.
Right. Right. But weren't people like kind of saying that like, oh, the fact that they don't want to hear more witnesses means that this is a cover up or something? I feel like I was seeing some shit like that.
Yeah, there was a lot
And
of
like,
shit like that.
like, come on, man. Like, you really want us? These people, okay. I mean, I guess I'm not surprised because these are people. Now that I think about it, these are people that think that like if the government taxes billionaires more, that they're gonna do some shit with that money and like help people or something like that. So it's no wonder that they don't care about wasting other people's money because that's like consistent within their ideologies. So again, all right, so I get it. I understand how they arrive at these conclusions.
Mm-hmm.
It's stupid, but I get it.
Well, that's just, they of course wanted to get John Bolton on because he is releasing a tell-all book that is currently going through the publishing avenues of
Is
this.
he related to Michael?
I don't believe so. I don't think Michael could grow a mustache like that.
Michael Bolton.
Michael Bolton with a John Bolton mustache, which is like 3 times the mustache that I have.
Somebody needs to make that. Somebody needs to that's a meme now. Somebody needs to make that.
So anyway, the Democrats did want to make sure that Bolton got called because of this tell-all book and some of the transcripts that got released from that. They were leaked early, and of course now this was the big part of the news. Now, the Trump White House, of course, is going through this and making sure that none of what John Bolton wrote in his book violates any top secrets, but this also seemed to be the idea that the House managers wanted the witnesses they wanted called, and they didn't want any of the witnesses that they didn't want called, including Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, and the infamous whistleblower that Tim Pool likes to refer to as Voldemort.
Eric I can't pronounce his name, so it's fine. I can't pronounce his last name. It's cool.
We can do like Matt Christensen and say Erica Marshmallow. That's
Erica Marshmallow.
That's the furthest I'm letting you go on that one.
All right. Because I like you, I won't get you banned off the internet.
But yeah, I mean, of course they didn't want any testimony coming up from any of those. They didn't want us to even know what Erica's name is, which I pointed that out on Twitter the other day too. I mean, Rand Paul it was trending, arrest Rand Paul, because he went out onto his Twitter statement.
I did not even hear that.
He went out on his Twitter and revealed the name of the whistleblower that we've all known for months. But simultaneously, the left confirmed that was the name of the whistleblower and confirmed that that's who he was.
Wait, so why is this such a big deal? I don't get it. I mean, I don't get it. Like, I get that, like, maybe we want to, like, protect people, maybe, but, like, I don't know why this guy in particular is, like, so untouchable, quote
They don't want him
unquote.
cross-examined, is my theory on this. But of course,
Mm,
they're going by the whistleblower rules of they don't
yeah.
want anybody to go down and beat down his door and beat the hell
Sure.
out of him
Yeah.
or whatever reason.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I get that, but I mean, I would like to see it.
But MSNBC, put his name out there.
Oh yeah, wasn't that a while ago though?
Yeah, right in the beginning, right after he made
Yeah,
his
yeah,
statement,
right,
MSNBC put his name
right.
out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's how I know his name.
Yeah.
So like, why why is this still a big deal? I don't get it. Everybody already knows. I saw it actually on Twitter. I want to say like 3 days ago or something like that. I was seeing like a bunch of people like retweeting like the Rand Paul tweet.
Hmm.
I think, or something, or trying to, or did I make that up? Did I fucking?
No, I saw it too.
Did I
It
dream
was
that?
part.
I feel like I saw that, right?
It was in part of the reason that it was trending that they wanted him arrested because he
Right,
broke
right,
the
right, right.
golden rule and he let out the name of the golden boy.
No, he can't be arrested. Fine, he's fine.
Well,
They're
once
gonna
again,
arrest
he would
him?
have to be
They're gonna get
impeached
him?
just like the president would.
And waste more money and time. Actually, it'd probably work this time though.
Yeah.
They'd probably get him out. That'd be wild.
Well, one of the big problems with all of this is the fact that, there were no concern for any of the basic rights that are outlined in the Constitution when it comes into
Yeah.
regard of this president. And he is a person just like any of the rest of us, and the government doesn't grant you rights. The government
Right.
protects the rights that are given down to you by your creator,
Right, right,
which includes the right to confront your accuser and
Right,
the right
right.
to a speedy trial,
right,
both enshrined in the Fourth Amendment.
right. I mean, and no one's above the law.
But nobody's above protection
That's what
either.
they're saying. I mean, that's the argument that I get when I point that out, because they're not actually going to listen to you when you say that, because what you said makes too much sense and is actually tangible. So that's the answer. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Well,
No
the
one's
other
above
thing
the
that
law.
came out with this, and I was actually quite surprised with this when it changed like that, when I pointed out the fact that the right to the speedy trial was being violated when Nancy Pelosi was withholding the articles of impeachment.
Yeah, right. Didn't she hold them for like a month and a half?
Just a month.
Okay, yeah. That shit was. I feel like that it was a long time. It was a really long time.
But when I pointed that out, I was informed promptly that this was not a criminal trial. However, when they want more witnesses called, now it's suddenly a criminal trial again.
Right. Hey, man, they got to change the rules every single time they feel like they need to, I guess. It's like playing Monopoly with a fucking 8-year-old. You know how like everybody has their own house rules for Monopoly? It's like that. Like they're trying to, have their own house rules, quite literally, I guess.
Quite literally, actually. Yeah. Because it was Schiff that was trying to. Did you see Schiff's stupid ass speech this morning?
Wait, which Monopoly piece is Schiff? Is he the dog or is he fucking Thimble?
I think he's the thimble at this point.
Pelosi's the dog.
Yeah. I didn't get this on the notes, but I was looking around this morning, and apparently Schiff in his closing arguments this morning pointed out that if we don't remove the president from office, he might offer Alaska to Russia in exchange for getting himself reelected.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, who said that? Like, he said that Trump would do that?
Adam Schiff said that if we allow Trump to stay in office, then he might offer
Right.
Alaska back to Russia
Where did he say that?
on the Senate floor during his closing arguments. I saw it from The Guardian.
So, so, so he, okay. All right, let me see if I can understand this one. So, he is saying that his fear is that the president will offer Alaska to Russia, okay, which would then what?
Well, that way Russia would help him
let's say
win
he
the
was
election
right.
again.
Oh, right. That whole thing. I forgot. Okay. So Russia gets Alaska in exchange for rigging the election again for Trump, right?
That was the point of
That's the
that was
train
the
of
gist
thought.
of what he said.
Okay.
So I do want to.
Okay.
I don't want to
That's
correct
okay.
correct the Twitter record on this because that's not technically what Adam Schiff said. What he said. No, that was what was trending around was that he had said that. What he actually said was that if we only go by, or if we, how did he put it, or how did we put it? If we hold the standard of we can't remove a president because things aren't technically illegal, then he might go and offer Alaska to Russia in exchange for election help because that's not technically illegal either. Which it actually is because ceding territory would be a job of the House of
Yeah.
Representatives.
Right. That well. Right. That doesn't sound. Yeah. That's not. I was. That doesn't sound like something that the president can do. One, but also, wouldn't it be? I mean, he's making this like hypothetical situation.
He's fear mongering.
I just think it's very weird. Like to even like I can think of this thing. I'm thinking that the president might do this. And it's like, no, maybe are you thinking about trying to do that? So like, I don't think that Trump is thinking that way. I would be very surprised if that thought went across his head. Like, why don't I just offer them Alaska? It's beautiful. I don't even think Trump doesn't know what's in Alaska. Probably.
Well, it's like the speech that he gave on the House floor right before the transcript came out. No, listen here. I'm going to tell you this, and if you don't hear me, I'm going to tell you again. He kind of made that mobbish kind of speech,
Oh yeah.
imitating that was what Trump was saying, and then the memo came out, and that's not what he said at all.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't understand how this guy got his job. Like, really, like, if you're that type of person, how did you get to this level of government? Maybe the whole thing sucks, and I'm gonna go with that. But also, like, this guy just seems incompetent. Like,
What?
he's just making things up, like literally, because that's just. It's like he's like writing like a fictional story about Trump.
Yeah.
And he's just like using excerpts from this like novella that he's writing. You know? It's weird. It's so weird. That's like the most dramatic thing. He's gonna sell Alaska. Like again, as I'm saying, like I don't think Trump would see. Okay, let's say that was true. Like Trump wanted to cede territory, right? I don't think he's gonna look at Alaska first.
No, there's way too much oil there,
That makes no sense. Why would you do that?
especially if you're running as a Republican.
like,
There's
North
way too much
Dakota.
oil there.
Give him like North Dakota. You know?
What the?
I don't know.
I don't.
Wait, did you know that? Wait, hold on. Before I can think of North Dakota, I actually got my change of address form,
Mm-hmm.
and it said like register to vote or something like that. You know what I mean? Make sure you do your registration. Oh yeah, I should. And it says that North Dakota voters aren't required to register, or not required to vote, or something like that. Is that the thing?
I can't answer for North Dakota. I know I don't have to register for a party to vote. We have open primary in this state.
North Dakota. I kind of want to know.
Which means, by the way, I will be going to the Dem primary and trying to throw a wrench into whoever's in the lead because we vote really late.
Oh, there's just no registration in North Dakota.
Yeah. Yeah, you probably just can walk in same day.
At all, yeah.
Walk in and vote.
Yeah. There's no registration at all. Yeah.
Well, there's 17 people in North Dakota, so everybody knows everybody. You can't get away with
I
voter
guess
fraud
so.
over there.
I guess so. Yeah. That's pretty wild. Maybe that's my next move.
Anyway, I have no idea where I was going to be going with it. Oh, where is Adam Schiff's district? I know that was in your former state.
I don't know actually. Let's find out. I don't know actually.
I thought he was down by Los Angeles. I know that Dr. Drew was talking about running against him.
28th. Really?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you were talking about that with
that was a couple weeks ago when
what
I had Harvey
podcast were you
McLeod
talking?
on.
Harvey. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, we had a good
I
conversation going
remember you
about
guys
that.
talking. Yeah, yeah. Let's see, 28th district. So he is West Hollywood, Burbank,
Oh Jesus!
Pasadena, and Glendale.
So now we know how he got in.
Yeah, I guess so, huh? That's fucking insane.
That sounds like a lot of people with more money than brains.
You said it. So he's been he's been in there since 2001, huh?
Yeah.
20 years.
Yep.
Wow. People get mad. I saw this meme that was talking about like how there's like all these people who are like running for president or like trying to impeach the president, whatever. They've been in government for so long, and realistically, people should be looking at this. It's like these people have been in government for so long. Okay, look at who your representatives are, right? Look at who your senators are, etc. Look at who your council people are. See how long they've been there, and look at the conditions of where you live.
Mm-hmm.
People don't seem to really do that and like connect those dots. It's very strange. They still rally around these people, regardless. Like, yeah, he's been in LA for like 20 years, like West Hollywood for like 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
That place is a shithole.
It is.
Like, what the fuck? Nancy Pelosi's been in San Francisco for like 10 years, 13 years or something.
Oh, it's been more than that. Because
Yeah,
she
you
was
think
around
so?
during the Clinton impeachment.
Oh no, but she wasn't in. She wasn't in that district at that point.
Oh, she got redistricted?
Yeah, she got redistricted in like 2003 or something like that. But like that, that's a long time, and it's a shithole. Trump, actually did a video about this. Trump was right when he tweeted about San Francisco, and he said Nancy Pelosi needs to get back to her failing district because it's gross, and no one looks around. No one's like, who are the people representing me? Okay, the people representing me that I elect to. Well, first, okay, there's a couple of problems. One, the problem is that these people expect those people to do these things for them. But if they expect those people to do these things for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't actually look about what they're actually doing. So like you can say like, oh, if you're going to be dumb enough to cede your power in your community to these people, at least like hold them accountable later on. These people aren't doing that either.
Right.
It's ridiculous. It makes no sense. I don't know. I don't like any of it. I hate it. It all sucks.
Well,
I got to find out who my people are actually up here.
I do want to get to one of the cruxes of the reason that we're going down to vote, because of course everyone expected Lisa Murkowski to vote in favor of bringing more witnesses in, because that's something that Lisa Murkowski does. But it appears that a question that came from Elizabeth Warren
Ooh.
was the reason that Murkowski decided that she was going to vote in favor of just moving this along onto the acquittal. And I actually have the text here. I'm going to put it up on the screen and I'm going to read it.
Okay.
Now, most people are looking at this and calling this an attack against Justice Roberts, but we're going to read the text and you can decide for yourself. So, Warren's question that Roberts read out loud, verbatim, emotionlessly, says, at a time when large majorities of Americans have lost faith in government, does the fact that the Chief Justice is presiding over an impeachment trial in which Republican senators have thus far refused to allow witnesses or evidence contribute to the loss of legitimacy of the Chief Justice, the Supreme Court, and the Constitution? Justice Roberts had to read his own attack ad.
So, okay. Why? Okay. Why is the goalpost always moving? Why are we attacking this guy now? What is going on, Dems? What is going on? Can we focus here?
Well, I know the Supreme Court's going to be under attack here coming up in the near future because RBG is not going to live forever.
That's what, yeah, she's gonna croak. I think that she's dead already.
I know we said that last time.
Weekend at Bernie's. But no, I don't know. I don't get it. I'm just like, actually, I have a I have experience with like people doing similar things, where they'll accuse me of doing a thing, and then like I'll address the thing, and then they'll be like, "But this thing," and I'm like, "What's good?" And I feel like this is exactly what's happening here. Like, almost every time something new is going on in terms of like the Democrats versus Trump or versus like Republicans or whatever, and I don't know, has this always been this way?
Yeah.
Is this always what politics? Okay. Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah, it's
I
just we
want
didn't have
out.
the internet to amplify it.
Yeah, that's right. I did. I tweeted that the other day. You're right. Yeah, the internet is definitely just making us. We're aware. We're aware of these things happening, versus them just happening in silence. Yeah, that's
I heard
true.
a quote the other day, and it kind of made me laugh. I was talking about the political situation, and the original tweeter, or yeah, I think it was a tweet. The original tweeter had said, people back in the '90s complained about the fact that people couldn't make effective decisions or intelligent decisions. I think was what the original words were about politics because they lacked information.
Mm.
The internet has proven that's a lie.
Yeah, it's true. It's true because now people do have information and they're still idiots. Yep. Yep.
You've probably got a device in your pocket at this point here. Mine's sitting over on the desk that will
I
bring
got
you
mine over here. Yeah.
that'll bring you any piece of information in the world
Look. Get one.
in
I mean,
seconds.
you have one. Use it properly. Look things up. Read things. Talk to people. No, no, don't do that. Just read headlines and slam share.
Slam share.
That's what I always do. It's like a reflex. It's like what it's like when they give when they put like those rats in the cage and they give them like a little bit of crack or whatever if they hit the button.
Hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
I
They'll,
do.
they'll like those weird drug experiments. That's what this is. That's what the share button is. It's crack. It's the crack, and we're the fucking rats running around hitting the crack button. That's what this is, man.
So on Wednesday, we're probably going to see this go away. I don't see any possible scenario in which the prosecution gets to the necessary 67 votes.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I don't. This is.
But they're already talking about doing this again.
Well, we'll keep fighting, right? Resist.
Yeah.
Or
Hashtag
whatever.
resist.
We have to keep fighting. You know what? I heard of something similar the other day. I was watching like one of Crowder's videos, and he was talking about male privilege, and it was like the male privilege changed my mind or whatever. Male privilege is a myth.
Hmm.
And at the end, he's talking to this woman. He's like trying to get her to say that accusing somebody of rape is bad, right? You can say that raping is bad, but like you also have to acknowledge that accusing someone of rape is bad. But she refuses to say that like she wouldn't believe someone who said that they were accused, they were raped, at all, even if they were proven to be false. She's like, well, what if that happens? He's like, well, what if that happens? And she says, well, we just keep fighting. It's like, what? Keep fighting what? This is what these people are doing, man. What is happening? I don't know. This part I don't understand. I can't get to that where it's like, that you're going to lose, and yet you are still going to pretend that you can win. I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it's like if I went into a game, like if I went to a fighting game tournament and I got knocked out of my pool and I kept sitting down at other people's stations to play people in the bracket. Like, no, I'm knocked out of the bracket, guy. Like, that's not how this works. You know what I mean? Like, you're done. Try again next time. You know what I mean? Like, why can I understand that? But these politicians, they can't. What is up with that? Why can't Stacey Abrams understand that? You're all Stacey Abrams. We are all Stacey Abrams.
Well, Stacey Abrams is the real governor of Georgia, isn't she?
Exactly. Exactly. And Trump is not a legitimate president. Hillary Clinton is. And yeah. So what does that say about all these other people that have been in office forever? Are they legitimate? Should we be questioning their legitimacy? Is it like when spouses who are cheating constantly accuse their spouse of cheating? Is it projection, as it were? I think that we should find out. News again at 10.
Well, that's an interesting point because one of the things that I kept thinking of myself when I saw that the charges for the articles of impeachment were non-criminal statutes was that they can't put any criminal statutes forward because everybody in the House is guilty of the same statutes that they were trying to bring forward.
Right. Oh, that's amazing. I love that. They're all criminals. They're non-criminals. I mean, most of them probably are criminals, to be honest.
Well, taxation is theft, so they're all criminals.
Right, exactly. You're using my money! You know what? Whatever.
I don't know. Let's check in with the live chat here. Looks like Ron is the only one here yet, but he's been busy. USA blindly supports Trump and will not support anything he does that limits liberty or results in more wars. That's very true.
That's true.
Not slashing spending too. That's kind of a pet peeve of mine. I like the tax cut, but you got to slash spending when you go along with it.
Yeah. I mean, what areas would you cut?
Entitlements.
Okay.
Federal aid.
Yeah.
Foreign aid.
Stop giving all this money to Israel.
Yeah, I think they're about ready to stand on their own 2 feet. We'll talk a bit more about that later.
Yeah.
Ron Helton says I have 2 years, one for each convo. Is it Congress?
That's what he said. So I was right. That's what he's doing.
Isn't Congress Dems now guilty of obstruction of justice? Their meddling in this investigation request has pretty much stalled the investigation of the corruption of Biden and others. I believe Biden now has immunity because he's running, but at the time that all of this went down, he wouldn't have. I mean, all of this came down to the fact that Trump was trying to fire Marie Yovanovitch because she was talking bad about him.
Really? I didn't even know that.
From what I understand, yeah.
That's pretty wild and petty. Wild and petty, kids.
Bolton, warmonger crybaby.
Bolton. Wait. So hold on. We got to ask him. So he's actually doing that thing with the 2 ear. How are you processing either of these conversations? I don't understand. I don't get it, Ron. Explain. Explain yourself.
Well, Gen Cap, you don't always have to listen to the conversation because most of it is the older guy ranting. Love you guys. Catch that on the replay.
Catch it.
Rand exposed whistleblower, and Congress continues to sit still while Manning, Snowden, and Assange, the real whistleblowers, are being harassed and imprisoned.
Yeah, we know all of their names. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We're allowed to post things about... That's a great fucking point. Shit.
Yeah, I actually have Edward Snowden's book sitting on my bookshelf. I haven't read it yet.
Really?
Yeah, I've had it there for a couple of years.
Yeah, they made a fucking movie about the guy.
Yeah, but I don't trust movies to be non-propaganda.
Well, sure. I mean, but the point the quality and or like narrative that they present is not the point. The point is like we know who those fuckers are. Like what? Like it's only a matter of time before we get a fucking what's his name? Fucking Voldemort one. Right?
Yeah,
There's gotta be. Jason Bourne. Jason Bourne. I'm gonna call him that.
Then he says, slash that spending 90%.
Slash that spending 90%.
Yeah.
90% all of it? 90% of the entire thing? Yeah, all right. I agree. Yeah, give me my money back.
Well, I'm not concerned about entitlement spending as much as long as it's coming from a more local area than the federal government.
For sure, yeah, I'll agree with that. Definitely would agree with that.
I'd be less worried about it if it was coming from Madison than Washington, D.C.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I can go up to Madison and talk to my assemblyman and say, hey, what the fuck?
Yeah. I agree.
And the Capitol Police won't let me anywhere near the Senate chamber to do the same.
Yeah, That's kind of an interesting setup there. It's like let's bar the people as much as we can from the who are real interesting.
Well, let's talk 2020. And the first story that I've got in the stack here is that as of right now,
Woo!
and I can't go and check on it because my computer will blow up if I try, but Iowa's
2020.
caucus today, and they were tallying the votes when we went live. So
Oh,
by the time
I'll
we,
check it for
I
us.
was gonna say, by the time we jump off the live stream here, we will probably know who won the Iowa caucuses. I know I was watching the
Iowa,
or the NBC stream while I was waiting.
Iowa caucus. Oh wait, it's 0%.
Are they still tallying?
Let's see. Yeah.
Jeez. Well, the polls closed pretty late, I guess.
Wait, there's a guy. Wait, who the hell? Who the hell is Bill Weld?
Bill
Trump
Weld is
Weld.
a former governor of Massachusetts who ran as the vice presidential candidate for Gary Johnson in the 2016 election
Really?
and is now running primary challenge to Trump.
Yeah, I see that. I knew Joe Walsh was running,
Yeah, yeah,
but
we talked about that last time because you called him
yeah,
the other Walsh guy.
yeah, John Walsh.
Yeah,
Iowa caucus. Let's see. Well, Trump doesn't stand a chance here. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, yeah, I can't see any numbers
well, it was
yet.
interesting because if we watch the shifting of the polls that have been going along as we went along, Bernie Sanders was actually poised to win Iowa as of last
I mean,
week.
I kept seeing that. I feel like these people got to learn their lessons. Why are you going to put people? Okay, wait. Final polling average. Okay, the latest result. Yes, Sanders is ahead of Biden, who is ahead of Buttigieg, who is ahead of Warren, who is ahead of Klobuchar, who is still there for some reason.
I guess she's really big in Minnesota.
Really? Is it because of all of her boyfriends?
I don't know. I grew up on
She
the
said that.
border, and I've talked to people from Minnesota, and I guess yeah, she's really popular there.
Well, isn't that? Didn't she say that thing about how she like got her campaign funding from like 13 boyfriends or something?
I missed that story.
It was like she was like, I raised money through ex-boyfriends or something like that. And I was like, what? So I would say that's maybe why. Maybe she's just running around there.
Well, definitely be paying attention to that over the coming week here, and when I re-interview Quest Fanning coming up next week, we'll probably have an answer at that point, and New Hampshire will be coming up shortly after that, so we'll get some answers. We might actually start to see this field start to thin.
Thank gosh.
Or we might see it grow again because Hillary Clinton has
Oh
asserted now
no.
that she would win if she ran.
Oh yeah? Would she? Really?
That's what she
Just like last
says.
time? Just like last time, huh?
Well, I mean, she won the popular vote.
I mean, yeah, she did.
Fact that she will never let us forget, of course.
Yeah. So does she think that why would she win if she ran right? Because they would just get rid of Electoral College to make sure that she would win.
Well, I mean, when you run a rigged election, obviously, but
Yeah, yeah,
she owns the DNC, so she can use the superdelegate system. So I know that she would run across on the top
yeah.
of the DNC. So she'd definitely get the nomination, and of course, she believes that once again she would win because of all the gripe against. And I could possibly understand, especially if you live in an MSNBC bubble and you're only told what CNN tells you to believe, because at that point you would think that after 4 years of Trump, everybody hates the guy and wants him out of there. So,
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because like people don't, yeah, they don't really understand. Like I didn't vote last time, man, because I was so disillusioned, and I literally was like turd sandwich or like, what's the other one? I forget. The
giant
South
douche or
Park
turd
thing,
sandwich.
giant douche sandwich. Yeah, that's right. That's how I felt about it, right? So but then after like 4 years of Trump and seeing him in office and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, I don't understand why people hate this guy so much. Like I have issues, right? But like now, like I'm not disillusioned to the point where I don't feel like voting, because if I go out and vote, I'm just going to give it to Trump. Fuck it.
Well, and it's Tim Pool keeps saying the same thing. It's the economy, stupid.
Yeah, oh, yeah, right, right. Well, he was talking about. I actually was watching him. They can put Bloomberg in the next debate.
Yeah, I've got that on
like,
the stack here.
Yeah, he's like freaking out about that. And he's like, dude, basically, he's like, I don't want to be forced to vote for Trump. Like he said that. He's like, I don't want to vote for somebody. Like he's like, I don't like Bernie, but like honestly, like if Bernie should get the nomination, he should get the nomination. Like they should stop trying to cheat people. And he's mad because he likes Yang and Tulsi. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's like, dude, like I can see them getting cheated out of things, and I'm like, I won't vote for Bernie. I don't want to be forced to vote for Trump. What the fuck? Like, I'm like, all right, fair enough, homie. Shit.
Well, the thing with Bloomberg is that yes, he is buying a bunch of he's basically bought himself into the DNC. So I think he made what, a $10,000 donation to him,
Yes.
so he can make it into the. What's that?
I thought it was more than that.
It might have. I think it was 100,000 actually. Now that I think about it, but he made a big donation to the DNC. So
doesn't sound very very much.
yeah. So now they're letting him on the debate stage, which he didn't qualify for the last one because
Right.
he's mostly self-funded. He doesn't have individual donors, and
Right.
that was part of the threshold, was to get individual donors.
Right. So they're changing the rules to let him get in.
When
So to say you just need it up to a certain amount, not necessarily the donors.
Well, what did you say in the last topic? When they're not winning, they change the rules.
They changed the rules, exactly.
So,
and then I mean, it's just funny that these people are talking about. These are the people that are scolding people about like, billionaires and monopolies and things like that. And then they're like going to change the rules to let Mike Bloomberg in. I just find it all very funny. I also hate Mike Bloomberg. He's annoying. What was that big gay ice cream commercial he did?
wasn't it the Super Bowl one? Or was that a different one?
Bowl?
Yeah.
I saw it on Twitter like a couple days before the Super Bowl. It's like he's like, "Hey, where's my ice cream?" And then somebody like hands him ice cream. Big gay ice cream is the best. And it's like, what? It's like, look how relatable and actually human I am. Like,
Was
very
that?
weird. Also, what the hell is Big Gay Ice Cream?
It's it's a ice cream company in New York run by gay people.
Oh, and they have to let you know.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't understand that, but that's fine.
Well, I did see that, but I didn't realize that was actually an ad. I did see the video, but I mean that had the whole vibe to me of, "Hello, husband, would you like a beer?"
Yeah, right,
I'm
right.
going to get a beer.
Right. Or even worse, the one where I think it's like Biden's granddaughter, and she's like talking to the cardboard cutout of Biden, and then he's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed." And he's like, "You got a real grandpa right here." And she's like, "I'm sorry." And now he's like kissing her on the mouth all the time, which is weird.
Well,
Weird stuff, man.
I can understand her confusion because, I mean, how would you tell the difference between a cardboard cutout of Biden and Biden?
Yeah, but right, but like, you're right. But what's funny to me is that like, I don't think Biden sees that like that's the joke. That's the actual joke. I think he just thinks that it's funny, but it's like realistic. That's what I was thinking. Was like, yeah, this guy's like, he is like a cardboard cutout,
What's the difference between a cardboard cutout and an empty suit anyway?
Right.
I don't know. What I do know is that Elizabeth Warren has now called for criminal penalties for online disinformation.
Oh, right.
Elizabeth Warren has called for criminal penalties for disinformation.
Right.
Elizabeth Warren.
Elizabeth
Warren, 1024th.
Who claimed forever that she was Native American. And people seem to have forgotten about that. Almost immediately afterward. And Trump so got her on that. Oh my God. That was something when that happened, that was me that was something that really made me like him. Was like, damn, like that dude, he got her hard on that, and like, he gunned her down. That was amazing. But like, I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand how people have like forgotten that Warren is someone who lies about these things. Like, didn't she say that her kids went to public school to some lady? I
Yeah.
thought so, like a video of that, and that her dad was a janitor or something like that. All lies.
And she got fired for being pregnant.
Right, right, right. Like, come on, come on. Just to like sow this fucking weird narrative. That the fired for being pregnant one really bothers me too, because a lot of people talk about that still. Is that can't really be a thing anymore? Like, I see people go on maternity leave when they're pregnant. What happens?
Oh, hell, that wasn't a thing in the 60s when she claims it happened.
I don't fucking believe anything that woman says. Not even a. She looked a woman in the eye and said that her kids went to public school. I'm pretty sure there was another thing where she said, where there was a guy who came up to her and said like, so you're gonna give student loans, like make student loans, reimburse student loans or something, or like, is that her thing? Or make.
Oh yeah, forgive student debt.
Get people money back. Okay, yeah, but yeah. So it would just clear it or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy's like, all right. He's like, so I paid for my daughter's college, right? I just paid for it. Like, do I get money back now because I saved money and I paid for my? And she's like, no, you wouldn't. She's like, okay, so you're gonna screw over people who did it the right way, but you're going to reward people who are in debt.
Oh,
that makes
absolutely.
no sense. I'm not going to vote for you. It was amazing. He like walked right up to her and asked her that question. She was like, nope, and just walked right away. But yeah, in terms of the disinformation stuff, I like, where are these people? Who are these people's writers? Do these guys have like David X. Cohen on their writing staff? These are all jokes. Like, you know what I mean? This sounds like an episode of The Simpsons on some real shit.
It sounds like an episode of Survivor.
Yeah, dude.
Actually, no. I like to call it Federal Apprentice.
Federal Apprentice. Yeah, because Donald's gonna fire all of them. Yeah, dude. I wish he could fucking just be like, "You fired," and they're gone.
I would love to see him say that, like cut an ad after some of these people get voted out, because I think some of them are going to get voted out this time through, and just cut an ad saying, going down the list of people that got voted out because of him.
That would be so funny. I would die. Maybe that's something that we just got to do as soon as 2020 comes around. Just make that.
Well, and the thing with student loan too, I mean, here's something that they never tell you. And my ex-girlfriend actually went through this because she decided to go ahead and get a law firm to take care of some of her outstanding credit card debt, because she made six figures and couldn't handle her credit card debt. Mm-hmm. She got one of her credit cards, I believe, forgiven, and then she wound up having to pay taxes on it, because if you get a loan forgiven, they count that as income.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I don't like these rules. Can we change that?
Yeah, nobody will tell you that. But yeah, technically it is. It's income. No. And I did the math, and I know how much I owe on mine, and if mine just got suddenly forgiven, I would owe...
Yeah, like...
$6,000 in taxes for the first year.
So maybe that's the plan. That's actually the plan there.
Mm-hmm.
Forgive all the loans and then collect all the taxes. Interesting. So we should tell people that.
Oh, I've been trying to. I put it out on Twitter already, but yeah, I've been trying to get that message out there.
Okay, good to know. I'm gonna have to spread that too.
Yeah, we'll see if I can find the laws that pertain to that. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
federal level and the state of Wisconsin. I know
yeah. Because
both got their hands in her pocket.
that's something that people need to know.
So we talked a bit about the impeachment here. Now we got to talk a bit about Biden and Ukraine and how it relates to the election because the GOP has said that if Biden wins for whatever reason coming up in November, the first thing that they're going to do is impeach him over the Ukraine thing.
Oh yeah, probably. So I don't think Biden wants to deal with that stress. I
I don't
mean,
think
he like
Biden's
straight up.
heart can handle that stress.
I don't think Biden even wants to do this. There was that the last debate. I think
Hmm.
somebody said the moderator was like, "Are you prepared to commit to 2 terms?" And he's like, "Wait a minute, I'm not even elected 1 term yet. Like, let's see where it goes. Like, I'm I'm not committing to anything. Like,
Well, I know he was just up on the stage not that long ago and said that it was really important for him to get the right VP candidate because he's an old man and stuff can happen.
I mean, at least he knows that. Yeah." I don't think somebody posted. I think it was like Wang or something. Um, Made a tweet the other day that I retweeted, which was, if Biden gets the nomination, I think that there is non that him and Trump get into an actual fist fight. And I'm like, I would like to see it.
Well, he does want to take Trump behind the gym.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I think that that's a valid point, though. Yeah, if he gets in, to impeach him for sure, for sure.
Well, we're
And,
getting to the point, and there's actually wrongdoing there, which
yeah,
was what we were
exactly.
investigating to begin with.
Right. So they probably would get him, and that would be the first success. No, the second successful impeachment ever.
No, we haven't had one yet.
No, we haven't had one. No, what happened with he died or something?
No,
Who
he
was the first
finished
one?
out his term. Andrew Johnson,
It's Johnson, right? Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Oh, okay, okay. Oh,
and he
yeah,
finished out his
Reagan
term.
just, or Nixon just went down.
Nixon just said, "Fuck this, I'm out of
Yeah,
here."
he said, yeah, yeah. And then Clinton, they didn't succeed. Right. So that would probably be the first successful.
Well, the problem that I have with this and with Biden running, especially given the fact that, like you said, that he doesn't seem to want this for any reason,
Yeah, right, right.
I honestly think that they're trying to find the right Walter Mondale to put up there.
Warsaw Mondale, I don't get that reference.
Walter Mondale, you've seen the election map for the re-election of Reagan, where it was only Minnesota went blue.
Yeah, yeah.
Reagan's opponent was Walter Mondale.
Oh, okay, right, got it.
I think that the impeachment was a bid for the Senate, and they don't think that they're going to beat Trump, so they're trying to put somebody up there
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that they can end his political career by putting him up there. Because, once you fail a presidential campaign, unless you're Hillary Clinton, you're done.
Yeah.
And nobody really wants to deal with you anymore.
Right.
And make the bid for the Senate to try and make sure that he doesn't get another Supreme Court pick nominated and approved.
Hey, man, I really, I hope for Joe Biden's sake that he just dies on the campaign trail.
Disavow.
Oh man.
So the last story that I had on this, and I found this in one article when I was looking up the top contenders here. I don't understand why this was relevant, but CNN decided that they needed to report this, and that Warren has come out and said, according to CNN, that Beyonce Knowles is her role model.
I fucking can't stand Elizabeth. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get really mad. Oh God, I can't stand Elizabeth Warren. She panders so goddamn hard, and you know what? It's not even her that I can't stand. It's just her supporters. My hometown is like full of Warren supporters, by the way. And like last time I went there, it's like Warren all in the line, and then occasionally you get a Bernie. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And,
hey,
like,
I'll have to tell my parents like I can find her support base then.
yeah, they're in. I don't want to say where I'm from, but fucking in New Jersey, there's a lot of Warren supporters. But the fact that Warren's base is eating up all of this clear pandering. Like they got it when it was coming from Kamala Harris, like the lefties. They
Hmm.
got it. You know what I mean? And I don't understand what makes Warren so like. Is she like a witch? Like what is going on? I don't get it. Like how can you clearly say that you're gonna say that your role model is somebody like 40 years younger than you? I don't know. Like I don't know, man. I just and people are gonna believe you.
Yeah, because
I
yeah,
don't
that would
know.
be about right. Because I think Beyonce Knowles is the same age as I am. I was
Beyonce,
born in
yeah, she's in her
'84.
30s. Beyonce seems older, but she's in her 30s. She's like 33 or something, or 34. No, 38. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, she's a little bit older than me.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Thought she was
Like,
born in '84 too.
yeah, 81. It looks like
Oh.
September. But like, you're gonna say that like, and okay, so and how old is Elizabeth Warren?
70. I think she just turned 70.
70. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 30 years, 32 years. You're really gonna tell me that that's your role model? And I'm supposed to believe that.
Well, and I've got to say this too, especially given Elizabeth Warren. Now, I am from a union family. I've got my parents are died in the dirt Democrats. They are.
Yeah, yeah.
I could see my parents, given their union ties and what my mom has said to me, leaving the top of the ticket blank this time around. I could never see my
Yeah,
parents
yeah.
filling in the R bubble on a ballot ever.
Hmm. Hmm. Just because they're just like they would never vote for that party.
Yeah, they wouldn't. But I mean, when Warren came out and announced, I was talking to my mom about, and that was the first thing she said. Well, I hope she doesn't run. I can't stand that woman. So the Union Party is just they won't do it.
Yeah. Well, why? Because they just see her as an elitist or something?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel that. I feel that. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm sick. I feel like I'm reliving 2016. Like, wasn't she running before for president too? Like,
no,
didn't she didn't run for who was it? Stein?
yeah, Jill Stein,
Why do I
hippie
feel like
grandma.
they're like the same person? Am I right about that? Or am I wrong?
Hippie
I don't
grandma
know.
was the Green Party nominee in 2016.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But
I don't know. There's just all
I,
these people.
I'm checking the live chat right now, and we'll actually go back and read later. But
Yeah,
Ron Helton says the same thing every time he's in, and we talk about Warren. And this may be where you're confused from 2016. Warren is Hillbot 2.0.
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why because I'm getting some serious flashbacks, man. It's fucking weird.
No, she had just got into the Senate in 2016.
That's right.
She
That's well,
was
no.
planning on running.
Yeah, I feel like I had a conversation with someone in like 2015 or something like that, or 2016, maybe early whenever she became a senator. But like, I think it was about Hillary Clinton,
Yeah.
and then I told somebody that I didn't really like Hillary, and they were like a diehard, like you should woman type. And they said like, well, what about somebody like an Elizabeth Warren? Would you vote for her? And I was like, at the time, I was just like, what? Like, who the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
like, like, what? No, like, like, I think this person's from Massachusetts, so I guess that would make sense.
Yeah.
But like,
From
it's like, I don't understand. Like, I don't know. I think I agree with Ron. I think that's what's going on. It's Hillbot 2.0, man. I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Like, it's
From what I
ridiculous.
understand of 2016, Elizabeth Warren was planning on getting her hat in the ring. She had just been elected to the Senate. That she was going to try and take the Barack Obama route and get elected in, and 2 years later run for president.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
Hillary looked her in the eye and said, "You better fucking not."
What, really?
That's the way I understand the story.
Did she
Which,
threaten her?
which if it's Hillary, yeah, I wouldn't take that lightly because you
She
might get a
feels
sudden bout of
yeah.
depression.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oh man, Hillary's a murderer. It's
So
crazy.
when I end the 2020 segment, you've been here before. I always ask the same three questions to the guest to decide to see what has changed throughout the polls and just how we see the news. So the first question always between the news that you've seen in the past week, the polls that you've seen in the past week, who do you think statistically stands the best chance of becoming the nominee in 2020?
I think Bernie might have it, but they won't let him have it, so it'll be Biden. They'll like figure out a way to take Bernie out or something.
That's where I see that coming here.
I think realistically Bernie could make it. I think that he'll lose to Trump ultimately, but you know what? Fucking they want, man. I would like to see it. They won't do it though.
Oh, I just thought of a news story here, just based on what I'm about to say here, that I forgot to put in the stack here. So I want to point out one thing. This past week, John Delaney dropped out of the race,
Oh.
and also
what?
in the news, John Delaney was still
Oh.
running for president.
Yeah, no, really?
Yep.
Oh man. Too bad.
Nobody knows who John Delaney is, but he dropped out.
I kind of know who he is. He was in one of those debates that I watched. One of the early ones.
Anyway, so now that we're done,
I heard John Kerry might run. Is that true?
I don't know if he can
saw
get in.
some-
I think
I
they're.
saw some shit. I saw some shit the other day that was saying that John Kerry, John Kerry overheard discussing possible 2020 bids amid Sanders concerns or whatever. John Kerry, he's gonna do it. He'll win.
Out of the 13 declared that are still running at this point,
13 still, damn, that seems like so much.
if you had to have one of these 13 people, you didn't have a choice as your president. If you had to have one of these 13 people,
if I
Who's-
had to choose,
who's the lesser of 13 evils?
oh man, shit. Who do I have left? Let me look. God damn, I have to pick one of these people. Let's go with Deval Patrick because I have no idea who the fuck he is.
Former governor of Massachusetts.
Why the hell not? No, you know what? Tom Steyer is not too bad. Right?
Tom Steyer it is. We'll enter that into the record.
Oh man. No. Yeah, Tom Steyer. Let's go with him.
All right. And for the last question, I always ask, and this is just for no statistics, no policy prescriptions, just for the entertainment value. Who do you want to see on the stage debating Trump come September?
Oh man, it's really hard. It's either Bernie or Biden. I really want to see that fist fight, so maybe Biden.
I want to see the push-up contest.
Right. The fucking arm wrestling contest. That would be some entertainment. You know what? It would be funny to see Biden, but I think realistically, I think that the left, that Bernie Sanders left, needs to see him versus Trump.
I would love that.
Happen. Because I think that would just be an interesting conversation, interesting debate. I think that so that's probably the best. Sanders.
All right.
No, Tom Steyer. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, let's check it with the live chat here. Looks like Ron went out to get a drink, and then he came back. He says, I clicked the adjust my volume, and it opened up Larry's live stream, which I don't know who Larry is. I apologize. But
Who's Larry?
yeah, we're glad you're back. It's not
Yeah.
logical that anybody should pay for anybody's expenses, including education. Paying off student loans is immoral. And yes, that'll increase your income too, so keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Taxation is theft. The institution who made the loans used shady tactics. Then they should be on the hook, not the public. I think that would down our economy faster than forgiving the student loans. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't see how Biden has any chance to get the nomination. He's senile and corrupt. His chance to run was after Obama, but his son was dying. He would not have won then either. Which, yeah, he was running, so, at the time. Everyone forgets that, but yeah, he was one of the four for the Democrat nominee in 2016. Mr. Greedo is here. Hop on in. Thanks for coming on in. He's another streamer, and I hang out in his Discord every once in a while, too. So, yeah, thanks for checking us out. I don't know what symbol that the robot got on you, so I got to fix my Nightbot. He's a pain in my ass. I like having it there because I can go ahead and do this. But other than that, yeah, I don't really care for any of that. So yeah, I don't see. Anyway, it's only two. AI is overhyped, yeah. And then we said Warren is Hillbot 2.0. She doesn't know when to stop lying. John is here from Generational Gap. Thanks for coming in and checking
Hey,
us out. How was your stream, John? They quit smoking in Florida, apparently. I don't know how that happened.
they quit smoking? Who's
Uh,
they?
Ron Helton says he quit smoking and
Oh,
then it
okay.
just said Florida. I
Oh,
don't understand.
I don't get that.
That must be something that
Was
was
that?
going on during the Generational Gap stream because he was watching both of those at the same time, remember?
Yeah, see? Boom, 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 boom. You got to pay attention to one or the other.
Warren's entire adult life is based on a lie. She claimed native heritage with zero proof.
Yeah.
Larry Sharp would have been the live stream,
What up?
which I've never seen the Sharp way, but I do. I want to get Larry on the show, so I should start watching his live stream. He's a good
Do it.
libertarian guy.
I like that.
All right, let's move on to. Let's see what we got here. Ah, yes, we get to talk the sad news. So the coronavirus is running rampant. We are now up to 17,500 confirmed cases, and that's not
17,500?
mhm,
Jesus Christ.
worldwide.
This is Resident Evil. This is happening. Finally.
Yeah, wasn't it their symbol for the biolab that was near Wuhan? Wasn't that the same?
Looks like an umbrella. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Corona is an anagram of raccoon, which Raccoon City is the name of the city that it starts in the original Resident Evil.
Oh wow, that I've never played Resident Evil, so I didn't know any of that.
Oh, oh, my friend. You need to be prepared for these kinds of things, and that's why I play those.
Well, it has come to our shores now because we have a confirmed case in Chicago and in Boston. And in Boston, we actually have a confirmed case of transmission from somebody who wasn't in Wuhan. So now it's person to person here in this country as well.
Oh, wow. Great. Yes.
So this is getting a bit well. In all honesty, our medical apparatus in this country is good enough that I think we're going to be able to contain this here. But the fact of the matter is, the World Health Organization has considered this an emergency at this point.
Yeah, but
So,
fuck them. I don't like that. I don't like that organization, so I don't give a crap what they say.
well, hear me out on this. Now that the World Health Organization has considered this emergency, if you, like Chicago's not that far away from me, so if this
Yeah.
starts to spread a little bit more out of Chicago, you're going to start seeing a lot of runs on food.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that it's going to end up just taking the cities out. What I think this is a disease that was invented to destroy life in cities.
You think? Well, I've
Oh
heard a lot
yeah,
of people say it was bioengineered. I can't
yeah,
confirm or
yeah.
deny that.
I was just traveling in the Asia, and I can't. Every time I was in Tokyo for like a week, and every time I like, every time I was walking around, if I came across somebody who I heard speaking Chinese, I would turn around and walk the other way. uh, oh man, but yeah, I think that this is. I don't. I think that the hysteria around this is a little. I mean, I remember when swine flu was a thing. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
You know, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're gonna fucking die," you know what I mean? And like, I didn't die, I was fine, you know. So, you know, maybe they're just this is just the culling of the weak out of the gene pool, considering we've been aiding it along for such a long time. Maybe we have to just get rid of the weak.
Well, it's definitely a
So I
possibility.
support it. I personally support it. Let's keep going.
Well,
Coronavirus
one of the things I've
endorsed
been
by me.
one of the things I've been seeing on this, I've been Styx Hexenhammer has actually been pretty up
Oh
on
yeah.
top of this, and he's got an update every day on this. One of the things he continues to ask is if this is going to see Spanish flu-like levels for death, which I did the math the first time I heard him say that. Approximately 1 to 3% of the world population died due to the Spanish flu.
1 to 3%.
Uh-huh. I'm sorry, it was
That's
3 to
pretty
5%.
high.
I'm sorry.
3 to 5%.
Yeah, it was 3 to 5.
Higher. Okay, that's okay. So that's what I'm saying. Let's get rid of some of the wheat, some of the chaff. Separate the chaff from the wheat, or whatever you say. That's what this is. You know, what was the 5% of that population? Were they the weaklings? Because I would guess that they are.
Possibly. But I mean, 5% is a bunch of people at this point, too. That's 2 billion people.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot.
That is a
I mean,
bunch of human beings.
is that sad if like they contract a disease and we know that it's deadly, or is it something that you should just avoid and don't get sick? No, I'm just kidding. I did get that. See, I did get that flu. I got that flu last season after I got that immunization, and I don't want to get immunizations anymore because I think that like that shit got me fucking super sick, dude. Like I got sick as hell for like 3-4 days, and I think that these people are creating these sicknesses so that they can kill people with weak genes because there's little Hitler in all of us. I mean, what?
Would that be a little bit of Hotep Hitler?
maybe a little Hitler in all this.
I remember that story.
Oh yeah. Oh, he still exists. There's like an account and everything. Yeah.
Well, that is interesting too because there are people that have suspected that this was a leaked virus, that it wasn't supposed to get out in any capacity, but it was supposed to be launched to take care of Hong Kong protests.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's speculation. That's just the tinfoil.
I wouldn't believe that. I would believe that. I would believe that for sure. Yeah, that sounds pretty reasonable. Because they've got, man, they're gotten too rowdy over there in Hong Kong. They had too that Western, you know. There's too much freedom in their thinking. You need to call it.
Too many umbrellas.
Yeah, you know what? I'm caught in between a rock and a hard place now with like understanding like how like those cultures, like why those cultures don't want their people like and their governments doing certain things. You know what I mean? And then like, but I think it's the level of unethical behavior that the government engages in order to quell it. Like creating a disease. Let's say that that's true. Pretty fucked up. I mean, like, let's say that we know something that China did do was true, which is rolling tanks out and shooting your fucking and destroying your own citizens. You know what I mean? That's fucked up too. Is that ethical? No. You know, but how else do you stop them from before they destroy themselves? You know? Or maybe you just get rid of government altogether, and maybe that's the answer.
I like that idea.
Yeah, right? I'm starting to think that might be the solution.
Well, let me ask you this, though. If the president, just a hypothetical president, not necessarily this particular president, if he makes a response team, do you care what their diversity looks like?
Oh, yeah. No. I don't care what diversity looks like at all. I'm going to tell you that right. I just moved to Spokane, Washington. I don't give a crap what diversity looks like. Yeah, I heard that they were getting mad because the response team was white or something, right? Like, it's just a bunch of white people. Damn white people trying to figure things out.
Well, we got the image up on the screen, and on the top is Trump's response team, and on the bottom was Obama's response team. I forget what it was that he was it
I
swine
can't see
flu?
them, so is it the same?
It is very, very white. And you can see the Trump haircut in the background too.
What about Obama's? Is Obama's very white?
No, it's very diverse, and it looks like 48% female. I'm telling you right now, if I get a treatment, like if I got coronavirus and I was going to take a vaccine for it, or an inoculation to get rid of it, I'm not going to sit down and ask what color the skin was of the guy who developed the vaccine.
Right.
I might ask what his credentials were, but I could give less than a fuck about what the color of his skin was.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's really funny that we're supposed to care about that. Like we're supposed to be concerned about that now when the whole point of like a lot of these civil rights movement was that we're not supposed to care about that.
I remember being in middle school and being told that there wasn't going to be any racism at all by the time I was an
Yeah.
adult.
Really?
Yeah, I was assured of that. That it was all going to disappear by the time I was an adult.
Really? That's interesting.
By the baby boomers that taught me. I think actually there was some silent generation still.
I've never I've never heard that probably because I'm black, but I think that it's just gotten I mean in some ways it's gotten worse because we're just so sensitive our generation's so sensitive about it.
Hmm.
And now we're adults for some reason. Um I think it's created a generation of people who are constantly infantilizing one another based on immutable characteristics. So it keeps people really stupid and slow and dumb. And actually, our generation sucks, man. I'm telling you.
Well, honestly, I do look at it at some point. I look at the fact that we are still in such a racist point.
Mm-hmm.
I think a part of that comes from the fact that our generation overcompensated.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. Yeah, exactly.
Wasn't necessarily that they wanted equal treatment, which would have been the goal and what we were talking about, but they decided that they needed to push the border on and go on to special
Yeah,
treatment.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, exactly. I
I
agree.
can absolutely
That's a
see
problem.
that.
That's a problem.
Anyway, are you worried about this thing?
Which thing? This coronavirus?
Yeah, because you live in a city, so
Not anymore. Spokane's not a city anymore, or
it
not
is
really.
compared to where I live, which is so small. I'm not going to say the name where I live.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, but no, I mean, like, I think that, like, I honestly do think that's going to affect, like, big cities. San Francisco is going to be screwed. I'm glad I got out of that place.
Hmm.
Oakland's going to be screwed. You know what I mean? There's going to be a bunch of people that are going to get it. I think maybe I already got it and I got sick. You know, I'm strong. Strong genes. So I'm good. I'm not worried about that. I'm gonna stay inside mostly and stream and make videos anyways. I'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I've got a month of food sitting in the freezer right now, so
Nice.
once again, I'm more afraid that there's going to be a run on the stores and medical supplies than of actually getting the disease.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, people are gonna start freaking out. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. This is gonna be like hysteria. Yeah, I mean maybe that's the catalyst. High stress makes it easier to pass the virus. I don't know. I'm just like writing a new Resident Evil game.
But I'm also going to be taking the time. I work around the trucking industry, and I was actually talking to a trucker the other day who was getting ready to go on vacation, and he pointed something out. So I may be taking my vacation onto the seas a little bit sooner than I thought because airfare is getting really, really cheap right now because nobody wants to fly right now.
Yeah, right, right, right. Because everybody's like freaked out about it.
So that might be
And
coming up in my near future here as well.
yeah, I mean, like when I was just like flying around, I was like, I went to Asia and I went to the Philippines or went to Japan and I went to the Philippines, and everybody over there wears masks anyway.
Hmm.
So it's like now it's like everybody, and then the people who don't normally wear masks are now all wearing masks, which creates this really weird, almost like it's like a social guard almost too. Like you don't really like think about it that way, but it's weird to like put that block up, especially coming from an area where we're like, you know, we don't wear masks on our face. Um, so I think that like socially, yeah, like I think that's also something that's concerning too. Is it kind of like makes us more scared of one another, you know? Uh, so I think that'll be a ramification that'll suck if it starts to actually like become more rampant. Damn, what did you say? 700 and something thousand cases?
No, 17,000.
17,000. Yeah, that's a lot, man. That's a lot. That's a lot. Let's see how high this keeps climbing. I'm gonna look into this more later, actually, because I'm interested in disease.
I'm gonna go into Steven's Discord after this and see if he's got the link for the. He's actually got a scoreboard for this.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah, he was doing that on his request show the other night.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's check in with the live chat here and see what we've got going on. Looks like somebody kindly put the Discord in. I think that was me, just demonstrating what I could do with a robot. But let's see. John says my stream was all right. I'm still a little hungover, so I was kind of low energy. Everybody, once you're done here, go over and watch the Generational Gap and watch John be low energy. Ron says I'm wore out from looking at fridges. Can't make up my mind. Mine gave up the ghost. It was about 14 years old. Get a smart one that shows you what's in it. I like all these streams. A little dicey following them all at once. WHO is a joke, so tell me who is a joke. Haha, that's a dad joke. I like
Got
that.
it.
You still there,
Got
John? For the virus, get your rest, take some vitamin C, exercise. Biden claimed his surname is Irish, but when I looked it up, it said it was French for button or bullshitter.
Be dang.
John, I went to my parents' house for the Super Bowl party and they had moonshine. I picked up a pressure cooker. I'm thinking of making me some moonshine. Just need to get some copper tubing. Hey, I know how to make it.
Damn. That's crazy.
My dad gets moonshine from Virginia every year.
Nice.
I saw the Jeep ad with Bill Murray. Bill Murray.
Oh yeah, the Groundhog Day one. I saw that one too.
I don't think I've seen that one yet.
It was the Super Bowl one, but I didn't watch the game. I just looked that one up.
And
it was.
Steven Ignoramus was showing the halftime show, which was amazing, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. How did he do that? How did he get away with that one?
I don't know. I don't like pop, and I still like that one.
What that?
The halftime show.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it because it was Shakira and Jennifer Lopez?
Yeah, I've always liked Shakira's music. I actually heard Laundry Service in Spanish before I ever heard it in English.
Yeah. That's a great record for
Yeah.
sure. I had a huge crush on her when I was a kid.
So did I.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
Myself and Wyatt
I had
from
a crush on-
Roundtable Decision were having a public Twitter discussion about that.
Yeah, I had a crush on Jennifer Lopez too. I mean, they're both fine as. Apparently, they're still both fine as hell. So that's great.
I gotta love that Wyatt can appreciate Shakira, but even though he's 19 and she's 44.
He's just 9 and she's 14.
I thought of that too. If you are in good physical health, you should not have any major complications with the virus or the flu.
That's true. I mean, I see, especially younger guys. Younger guys dig older chicks, man, because they know they can teach them stuff. I'm at a point where I'm not interested in that. I want chicks younger than me.
Well, now that Jezebel is going to come and shut the show down, like they did with Tim Pool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. I stole the beanie too from him. I'm gonna do the beanie look now.
You actually literally
This
went
is
back
Tim
to
Pool's
Philadelphia
beanie.
and stole his beanie.
Yeah, he's in Jersey.
Or he's in Jersey. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. He's in. I don't know what part, but I know he's in Jersey.
More people have gotten the flu and died. Johns Hopkins
That's
is where you
true.
can find it. Oh, he's
true.
looking for the scoreboard.
What, for the Caucasus?
No, for the
Oh,
for the coronavirus, which he can't put a link in here, but we'll check that. It'll be in my Discord afterwards. So if you're not a part of that Discord,
Yeah.
go ahead and check that out. I know you are.
Yeah, let's check it out.
But anybody who's listening back to this later, yeah, if you're get on my Discord, the link should be in there. So we'll go check that out. Let's see, what else do we have on the stack today? Our foreign news. So, in foreign news, first off, it is official, Britain is no longer a part of the European Union, which means
Yay!
that the UK is no longer beholden to a large, overbearing government across a body of water from it.
That's pretty great. That's pretty. I'm really proud of the UK for that. I'm glad that happened.
What parallel could we draw from that? Anybody?
Me?
Anybody.
Wait, I'm the only anybody here.
The
Oh,
UK is
like the UK, that like what happened? I don't know, 200 years ago. 200 years ago in the United States, 300.
I got a friend that lives in the UK. He's
Oh,
Discord friends with me. That was the first thing I said was, "Congratulations, blippity blop, on no longer being beholden to a large government across a body of water from you
yeah,
that doesn't have
seriously.
your best interest in mind."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like they finally learned. I guess they learned how we felt. You know.
Well, this is actually far from over for the UK, and that's unfortunate. I know that there are a lot of the Ramoners out there that are going to try and tank the UK economy at this point to try and make sure that
Yeah.
it looks like a bad idea to leave the European Union.
Why was it ever a good idea to have a European Union?
The
I
European
don't get it.
Union was essentially it was a compact to allow free travel between the states and to improve the trade so they could move goods faster through there because there are parts of Europe. Wow, I can't talk. There are parts of Europe that are getting resource starved. So when one country can, I don't know, grab copper and another one
Yeah,
can't,
yeah,
they
yeah.
can move copper in between them. And it's so small that it only makes sense to do so.
But it didn't. That's why we're here.
Well, I'm thinking 20 years ago it made perfect sense to do so, but once you start throwing taxes up on top of everything.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to. I mean, I think that like on paper, doing it for strictly trade purposes, if that's the if that's the main concern, I can see the case for it. But it's like unifying countries that have different languages, different histories, different ideals, different things like that. And so, on a more like sociological level, I think that it was inherently bad idea.
Well, I mean, it wasn't without benefits either, but
Right.
those benefits came on a two-edged sword. I mean, my little cousin just went over and spent a semester studying in Milan, and of
Hmm.
course, her immediate family went over and visited her while they were over there. And it
Hmm.
wasn't just Italy because they had the passport and the visa to Italy. They went to Ireland with no problem. They went to Germany, where my uncle
Yeah.
had studied years before and needed a passport to go through. They went to Switzerland. They went all over Europe on one visa without
Yeah.
getting
I mean,
stopped,
like,
checked, or anything.
okay, sure. It's more convenient for travelers, but it's not. Is it more convenient for people who live in those states? I mean, like, not just like on a traveling between them level, but like just like the 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 ramifications of being able to freely travel in between
Mhm.
states that have different cultures and languages and things like that.
Well,
Like,
and I think one of the things that drove it down was the immigration that came
right,
into
exactly,
one
right,
country in Europe and was now suddenly able to go to
right,
any country
exactly,
there.
right, exactly, exactly. That's exactly what I mean. So I don't know. I think that it was inherently a bad idea from the start, but that's. I mean, economically, I can see the case for it, but like that situation always changes based on like whatever geo geography and geo landscape, the way that stuff changes, right?
Hmm.
So like you can't really make like a permanent, not permanent, I guess nothing's permanent, but like you can't really make like a state system based on like potentially short-term economic interests. I think that that's alone, at least, you know what I mean, like putting that and making that the paramount concern is stupid, because there's a bunch of other concerns. Like if I can throw darts at your idea and poke holes in it, it's bad,
Hmm.
you know. So I don't know, that's just me. I was too young to have that opinion God damn it.
Well, I remember when the EU was first starting out,
Yeah, yeah,
a lot of people were calling it that it was going to be the end of the world because it was going to be the new Rome,
yeah, yeah,
which makes
yeah,
sense. I
yeah.
mean, the Roman Empire was expanded across most of Europe, but
Right.
I was more concerned, especially going on even in later years, with the fact that a lot of the support for the EU came from Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And even just a few years ago, Merkel had said that the EU was failing at its point and it needed to be restructured into the United States of Europe. And I don't know if you remember what happened the last two times that Germany tried to annex Europe, but it wasn't pretty.
I don't remember, but I'm sure it wasn't.
Well, one of them is the reason that we have a memorial at Pearl Harbor.
Right. Got it.
Both world wars essentially started off on Germany trying to annex multiple parts of European territory.
Right, right. That's true. Oh, yeah, your point. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's what's going to cause World War III, not the stuff in Syria.
Well, the other thing that I know that I watched the BitChute exclusives for Styx, and he brought up an
Hmm.
interesting point. He's brought it up before on his channel, but just recently, now that Brexit has happened, can we see Frexit? Can we see Italexit?
Oh,
I
yeah.
know France and
I mean,
Italy have
probably,
both
yeah.
said that they were interested in it.
Probably, yeah. I mean, why not? They said British have set the stage. Now all the lemmings have to do is follow them off the cliff. No, I'm kidding.
And I saw an interesting tweet from John McAfee that was getting shared around
Oh,
Twitter
yeah.
the other day because he was complaining now that he couldn't use euros in Great Britain anymore. And he had to now carry euros and pounds. And I said, dude, just use Visa.
Yeah, like yeah,
Or,
exactly. Like yeah, just yeah, it's all I mean everything's digital. What are you doing? What are you talking about?
well, and then one of his defenders had to jump up and say, well, Visa is more traceable than anything else. I said, well, use Bitcoin. And of course, he had to shoot that down too because he says, well, your average pub and chipper won't take Bitcoin.
Sure. I mean, like, if somebody is you're that concerned about being tracked and stuff like that, uh, I can't. I don't want to talk to you, man. Okay.
Well, I mean,
Whatever.
McAfee lives on a ship because he's wanted in multiple
Oh, right.
continents.
All right. This is who we're talking about. That guy. Yeah. Well, he's. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. That's a different level, man.
We do have an update on the score before we go and talk about
Oh yeah.
the
Here we
peace
go.
deal here. So, looks like we are at 427 deaths and 20,000 infected now, is the current score.
Infected. The infected, huh? Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
All
Jesus
right.
Christ.
So, the other story on international news I have here is that earlier on in the week, Trump and his advisors, along with Benjamin Netanyahu, came together and announced that they've come
BB.
up with a possible proposal for a peace deal for the Middle East, specifically for Israel and Palestine. And of course, and I was listening to Jen the Libertarian right before we went live, and she said it more perfectly than I ever could. It's a goddamn two-state solution.
Yeah, isn't that what everybody said? Like, isn't this what people have been saying they don't want forever?
No, I mean, especially Palestine doesn't want a two-state
Right,
solution, and I'm
right.
not sure where Israel stands on it. But yeah, I mean, that's the only way that I can think of to make this worthwhile is to actually have a two-state solution.
And does
Now,
that mean that the United States should stop giving money to Israel?
yeah, I don't know why we were involved in any of this, to be completely honest. Why was it our job to broker the peace deal between them?
Because we've been giving them all of their money.
Now, this is not actually terrible on paper from what I've seen from the map, and one of the more contested parts of any two-state solution that's jumped up right now, or that's jumped up in history, I should say, is the fact that Jerusalem has always been contested because it has all the holy sites for both religions, Islam
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Judaism, along with Christianity as well. So, from what I understand from looking at the map that I saw, and this is just a proposal right now, the Palestinian side of the two-state solution does have control over East Jerusalem.
Okay.
So it seems like, yeah, it's just a dividing
Like
wall,
that.
and you don't come on my side, I don't go on your side, which,
Yeah, I mean the Jews aren't gonna like that. Neither are the Palestinians.
I was going to say the
They're
Palestinians
not
aren't going to
gonna
be
like.
crazy about it either.
They're not gonna like any of that. No one's gonna like any of that, and they're just gonna keep fighting forever. So how about this? I mean, look, if we were in a state of mind where we could say that either side of this is like reasonable and could just shut the fuck up for like a couple, maybe like 500 years, that'd be
Mhm.
good. But I don't think that that's reasonable, and I think the United States should just stay the hell out of it.
Well, I mean, that stretch of land has been contested since Abraham walked out of
Right.
Iraq
Right.
and
Right.
walked across the
Exactly.
Middle East
Right. Exactly.
and took it over from what historians consider to possibly be the ancient Greeks.
Mm-hmm. So why aren't the Greeks involved? Why aren't the Greeks the one giving them the money? They don't
Because the
have
Greeks
it.
don't have money.
Yeah.
They
They
crashed their
don't.
economy already.
Yeah. They need some like exports over there. What do they got? They got like feta cheese.
Olives,
Yeah.
books about mythology.
They don't even come from Greece though. My big fat Greek wedding? No, that's not Greek either.
I don't know what they
I don't
have
know.
there.
Right? What are they doing over there, you know?
Yeah,
Not
I've always been confused as what kind of industry is over in Europe because I've never known what their
yeah.
big industrial contributions are. I remember
Well,
seeing maps about that
Germany
when I was in middle school.
Germany's got cars, right?
Yep. They've got
Um
raw steel and raw materials too, so.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. That's probably about it. Uh French has rapists. Uh no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. They got cheese, right? Or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
They got
France has got a lot of artisanal goods.
ro- romance, you know. They've got French girls. That's good, I guess. That's a good export.
Well, all these countries do have raw materials and they do have industry now. I know, looking back at trying to figure out what their industry was naturally,
Yeah.
we do have to look at that through a lens of the fact that the reason our country is the richest one in the world right now is after they got done bombing the shit out of each other in the 20s and the 40s. This country was the only one left that had any industry in it in the
Right,
world,
right, right,
and it
right,
was that way for 40 years.
right, right. And that's why we got to go back to war and bomb the shit out of them. Let's just do it. That's
Disavow.
what. That'll make America great again for real. You know.
Oh, now you sound like John Bolton.
Well, you know what? Put a fucking giant mustache on me, and I'll be that guy now. Fuck it.
All right. All right. We'll check the live chat again, which doesn't look like it's moved very much, and then we'll talk about Trump derangement syndrome. Uh, Johns Hopkins link is in general, so yeah, that's in my Discord now. So go and check that. He said Ron Hilton says he was looking at smart fridges. That's why I'm having trouble deciding go traditional or computerized.
Oh, jeez. Don't get a computerized fridge, man. You don't want your shit like you want to be blocked out of your food storage, like Hal talking about. I'm afraid I can't do that. You know.
I typed hashtag push-ups for Steven. Steven says for $1 a push-up. I guess we'll have to figure out what he's doing over there.
For $1 a push-up, what is he doing?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Steven Ignoramus is doing some crazy stuff, like he always does.
All right, I'm into it.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about Trump derangement syndrome here.
Yeah, let's do it. I love it.
So, first off, I've got a story. Now, according to CNN and multiple other sources, a car smashed through the Mar-a-Lago gates earlier on this week, right before Trump was set to come and visit. Looks like Secret Service went on a chase with the woman. It was a woman that was driving. They
Ooh.
stopped her at the gate. They found that she had a rifle in the car. She smashed through the gate, and then there was a small chase that ensued after this. A woman was
Chase?
apprehended.
Oh no. That's so great.
A Florida woman.
Oh, she's from Florida, huh?
Well, Mar-a-Lago's in
Oh,
Florida.
Marlowe is in Florida, I guess, too. Well, I was expecting her to be from somewhere else. Maybe went down there and like was just crazy enough to try this. I applaud her. You know what?
Go ahead.
Good for you. Live your truth or whatever, right? I don't know. Fuck that. People are so crazy, man. Like what? What drives people? You know, this is really driving you to like commit criminal acts. You should probably like re-examine your life. You know?
Well, I was talking to Linda B over on Twitter. She had retweeted a reporter named Beyonce. It wasn't Beyonce Knowles. It was another reporter named Beyonce.
Oh,
She had
was it Beyonce Black St. James, the transgender stripping in Seattle
no, it wasn't that one.
at the end?
But this reporter was getting death threats, and you know, I
Whoa.
sympathize with some of this. And Linda's point when she retweeted with a comment that, I mean, we should be more civil with each other. We shouldn't be giving death threats for anything. And again,
Yeah.
I don't know what the context was behind it. I know that I'm defended in my home if something
Hmm.
were to happen because of that. But I mean, politically, we're getting to the point that the internet muscles that we saw
Yeah.
in the late 90s, early 2000s, when people were screaming at each other in chat rooms and making threats like that, we're getting to a point politically,
Well,
societally,
yeah.
and just in general that some of these things are going to start manifesting themselves. And
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
almost afraid that that might have been what happened with this crashing the gate at Mar-a-Lago.
I mean, I think we've been seeing this kind of. I mean, we've been seeing people just attacking each other, even if it's not like it doesn't result in anything like serious, like that guy who kicked the lady on the because she doesn't believe in Christians.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Or like it's like that, and like, yeah. So it's been happening for a little while. I mean, people are fucking nuts, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Just I try to stay away from weirdos nowadays. You know what? If you seem like you're gonna fight me, just for like saying like that I don't agree with you, I'll just leave you alone. You can go fight somebody else, I guess.
I am legitimately afraid that if the Donald gets reelected at this point, there is going to be an actual assassination in this country.
Do you think they're gonna assassinate Donald?
I don't know. They're going to assassinate
You
somebody.
think?
I mean, what was the guy's name that went through and shot Steve Scalise during the baseball
Oh
game?
yeah.
We're getting
Yeah.
to that point, and it's a scary thought.
Just stay out of politics, man. Stay out of politics, Ed. Stop talking about it. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I mean, we're kind of overdue for an assassination, aren't we?
Yeah, but I mean, is this going to be like the next Franz Ferdinand? Or I know people were talking about that when they were talking about Soleimani.
Yeah. I mean, when was that? When was that?
Soleimani, right at the beginning
No.
of the year. Oh, Franz Ferdinand,
Yeah, French president.
1917.
17.
Yeah.
And then like I mean, we've kind of like not really had a good assassination in the 60s, yeah?
No, I wouldn't think so. I
Not
mean,
really, right? So it's been like 50 years or 60 years or something.
but I'm not just talking like a presidential assassination. I'm talking like somebody walking up behind a Secret Service agent,
Yeah,
sneaking up
yeah,
behind
yeah,
him, putting
yeah,
a gun in
yeah,
his back of
yeah,
his
yeah.
head, and putting two in the back of there. Or it's just some
I
random Trump
mean,
supporter, somebody wearing a MAGA hat walking down the street.
would
Look what
that be
happened with the
considered an
Covington kids.
assassination?
What's that?
What about Kobe Bryant? So there was a thing that somebody posted where like if you Googled Kobe Bryant's death on the day that he died, it said like date it called it an assassination. Google called it an assassination.
Yeah,
So
I don't
they
know about that. I was busy
what if that
canning
was
that day.
what if that was politically motivated? Uh, you know, I think that you're right. I think that it's gonna get a lot worse before it gets better. I would caution everybody to just kind of let's please just not shoot each other. That'd be great. Like, don't come into my house with guns either, because I have them. So don't do that. Uh, I would like to just have conversations with folks. I don't know. I don't know why. I think it goes back to what we're talking about the internet. Like we were talking about this before. It's like you would think that like if people had more information now, they'd be less stupid and less apt to attack people and stuff. But you're saying that it's getting worse, and I'm agreeing. And I how is that even possible? It's like it's a weird inverse application of like where we're supposed to actually be.
Hmm.
You know, it's sad. I think I'm more sad than scared.
Yeah. Well, and
You
you
know?
said too, we've got to get a lot worse before we're going to get better. We don't have a
Yeah.
lot worse to go.
Yeah, I mean, true. So maybe we'll get better then, right?
Fingers
You know.
crossed.
Yeah.
All right. Last story I have on the stack here. There was a trash cleanup. It was on the west coast. I think it was in yeah,
San
it
Francisco.
was in
It was
San
in San
Francisco.
Francisco.
That's right.
You're talking about Scott Presler.
Yep. Trump
I told
supporters.
before sorry, I hate to cut you off, but the reason I'm saying this is I used to live there, and
Mhm.
I really like Scott Presler. I think he's like a really fucking good example, and I've been watching him for a while. And I remember one time he went when he went to LA, I hit him up and I said, "Hey man, like fucking advertise when you're going to San Francisco. I'll come through and um I didn't this time because I was in the middle of moving and all that. But that actually got me into an argument with saying that I should be inspired enough to not do it just because some MAGA guy is coming through. And I'm
Mhm.
like, I guess you're right, but like at the same time, like I'm not the guy who's gonna like he's the guy who's gonna motivate and organize people. And I'm okay with like ceding that ground to him. Like you know what I mean? It's not like I'm not an environmentalist, but like I think what he's doing is cool. And yeah, I would come by and hang out. You know what I mean? Like why is that a problem? Anyway, that's my spiel.
Well, one of the things that I saw when I was researching this topic was a large thread on Twitter where a lot of people were accusing Pressler of not actually being in the cleanup efforts, just showing up during at somebody else's cleanup effort and hogging camera time.
Wait, really?
That's what people were accusing him of. I've never been to one of his cleanups. I don't know what he does.
Yeah, yeah, yes. Yeah, so I mean that would have been very interesting. How come that never came out of the other ones?
From what I
You know?
understand, that's what they were accusing him of that on all of the other ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Really?
he just shows up at somebody else's cleanup effort and claims credit for it. Is what the poster was claiming. Now I don't buy that entirely because
I
there's
don't
never
know.
really been a cleanup effort in a lot of these places that he's
Right,
going.
yeah, like right, exactly. Like I lived in San Francisco for a long time. Lived and worked.
Hmm.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that. I saw people bringing things to people. Yeah, like bringing things to homeless people and probably causing waste. I haven't seen like giant, massive cleanup effort in like certain areas that definitely need it.
Hmm.
Didn't see it once in my entire time there. You know, and that's part of the reason why I had gotten that argument, you know, with that person. So they're like, oh well, why wouldn't you just do it? Because I'm not personally that motivated. I'm not. You know, and like I'm sure there's a lot of people who are disillusioned too. I'm not personally that motivated. If this guy's gonna come through and organize, okay, cool, yeah, I'll help out for a little while. But like, so I don't know. I think that's probably bullshit.
Well, and a lot of people really want to get the help, but I mean, yes, you picking up a can on the side of the road is going to help, but not in the same way that 100 people wearing MAGA hats following
Right.
Scott Pressler is going to do.
Yeah, and like, who cares? Like, who's the one? I mean, I think he's doing a great job. I've never been to one of his cleanups. You're right. I would hope that he's not like a fucking camera hog. It doesn't seem like that. Um,
Well, a part of that may
you
be the
know, I
effort
don't
too
know.
to discredit anybody who wears a MAGA hat.
Well, yeah, that's exactly it from my perspective. I mean, like, it's just because he wears a MAGA hat, and especially because he's gay too. People are like, "Oh no, like we really need to get this guy," and they probably have like some of his own right, other gay people attacking him and stuff.
I didn't even know he
Um,
was gay.
yeah, that's that was why I started following him actually was because he was like the gay MAGA guy, and I was like, that's interesting, you know what I mean? Because it kind of like shoots and it like slaps that narrative in the face. And this was nice, like just got red pilled or whatever, right?
Hmm.
And then he started doing all the cleanup stuff later on. So I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of that too, like especially in San Francisco, which the gay liberal capital of the United States. You know what I'm saying? Um, I could imagine like that people would just kind of gun for try to like make things up, delegitimize him based on who he is.
Well, I know it's inspired other people to try and do things. I know
Yeah,
I've been trying to possibly get the Beauty and the Beta Frozen North group on Discord.
yeah,
Maybe we run down to the north side of Milwaukee or down to Chicago or something and do something like that. I got a truck.
yeah. Do it.
I
Do
do
it.
it on there and just load it up with as much crap as I could haul out to the dump. Maybe I'd keep
Yeah,
some of the aluminum cans and stuff to go and resell to maybe cover some of my fuel or something. But
yeah. I mean, what's an issue in some of these places, at least in like Oakland, for like in Oakland, there's a dump, right? You have to like rent a trailer or something like that, or rent a waste management. God, I can't even think. What do they call it? What do
I'm
they call it?
I'm not trying. I don't know what you're trying to describe. I'm sorry.
The big dumpster.
Oh,
It's half of the word that I already said. I'm stupid. Anyway, you have to like rent, like call the city and get them to drop like a dumpster. You know what I mean? You can't take it to the dump yourself. Where I'm from in Jersey, there's definitely a dump. You can go grab stuff and throw it away.
hmm
There is one in San Francisco, but I think that you have to either pay or there's like weird hours or something. I don't really know how it works. But they like in places like that, it's like they don't even like make it easy to do stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's all part of it.
Well, I know. And here, I mean, we've got. We can go to the dump if we need to, and I mean, we've got separate
Mhm.
places for yard waste or recycling or everything like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, we can go in there and take it right in there. And again, if you take cans in there, they'll pay you for them.
Yeah, totally.
Oh boy, Ron Helton with the shade.
What? What's he got?
Butt gig will pull out after an accusation is made that he sired a child with Mr. Hanky Poo.
Oh Lord. All right, Ron. Oh, Ron.
Well, that's all that I have for this here. We've passed the 2 hour mark. I think this is the first
Woo!
one that passed the 2 hour mark. So
Oh shit! Boom! Legend. That's why you got Chris Locs, aka Mr. Behavior, to keep the conversations long.
that's right. So you've been here before. You know what the last question is on the stack here. Tell me about a hobby that you have that has nothing to do with work or politics. It could be an album that you picked up, an instrument that you like to play, a video game that you've been trying out, just something that helps you unwind at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the video games. I like this. It's Nintendo Switch. I play that shit all the goddamn time. Also because most of my other stuff, all my other stuff, is storage. So I haven't really been playing my Mortal Kombat's, my Street Fighters. I've recently been playing Breath of Fire, like the original one for the Super Nintendo.
Oh wow!
And because I never played it, and it's an RPG that that series has a lot of storied history, and so I decided to start where it started and play that. So I'm working through that, and then I've also been playing the original Punch Out game a lot, because that game is a masterpiece. I don't know if you guys know, but the original Punch Out is the John Blaze. Probably my favorite boxing game ever.
Are you talking original Punch Out or the Mike
Yeah.
Tyson edition that came out a year later?
The original one. The original Punch Out is actually, but it came out in 1984. But the one for the Nintendo that I'm playing is Punch Out. But Mike Tyson's Punch Out actually came out first, and they had to change it because they lost the license to use him.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around.
Yeah, yeah.
The gas station around the corner from me in the little tiny town of 300 people I grew up in actually
Yeah.
had both copies on the shelf, on the rental shelf.
Oh, really?
The
Wow.
the non Mike Tyson and the Mike Tyson one.
Yeah, I used to actually have the Mike Tyson one when I was a kid.
I think
The one
I
that
did
I've been
too.
playing is the one that I never actually got to Mike Tyson either though. But because I'm like playing it now and it's actually it's a difficult game once it gets gets later. But the one that I'm playing now doesn't have Mike Tyson in it because it's like the whole Nintendo can't get the license thing,
hmm
which sucks. But whatever. What are you gonna do?
I've
Then
actually
I'll move on to Super Punch Out after.
I've actually got a cart of the original Ninja Turtles for Nintendo.
Oh, the first one, the one with the side scrolling and like the the isometric overworld map.
Yep.
Bum, 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 bum,
But I
bum,
don't have a console
bum,
for it.
bum, bum. Oh, dude, you gotta go get that Nintendo, man.
My sister got the
Or t-
console when we moved out of the house, but I don't know how I got that cart. But yes,
Dude,
I have that cart floating around.
when I was just in Japan, I went to Akihabara and they had retro game stores and stuff.
Hmm.
Next time I go back, I really want to get I didn't do space and a bunch of other reasons, but I want to get like an old school Japanese Famicom, like an old school Japanese Nintendo, because the carts are so cool. Like the designs of the carts are way cooler
Hmm.
than the ones that we got, the long box ones that we got.
If you're gonna get the Famicom, are you gonna get Doki Doki Panic?
You mean Super Mario Brothers 2?
That's the one.
I have no interest in playing the original game. I'm not gonna lie. I actually don't really like Super Mario Brothers 2 that much. I thought that was kind of a weird game, even as a kid.
I have a ROM of the Japanese version.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh shit.
it's in it because the actual level format is different. Like you have to go through and beat
Yeah.
it with every character,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
just one character.
Oh really? Oh
Yeah.
shit. Okay. Make it harder. And then they dumped it down for us stupid Americans.
Well, that's the reason that we don't have the original Super Mario Brothers 2 either.
Or Final Fantasy 5.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for coming and talking news with me here. Thanks for everyone who kept up on the live chat here. If you want to catch up with me and finish the conversation, you can grab the Discord link that we've suggested throughout the show. You can find me over on Twitter. That is at EdsBlog Twitter with a 1 in place of the I, or there's a myriad of other links in the YouTube description. You can go and check me out on any one of those and find me there, finish the conversation. If you want to finish the conversation with my guest, Chris, tell us where they can find you.
Hey, you can find me at Real Mr. Behavior on Twitter. And you can also find me on the YouTube at youtube.com/Mr. Behavior. Or if you like video games, youtube.com/Locs Takes. And then Instagram, Mr. Behavior. And spell Locs Takes, LOCSTAKES, just so everybody knows. And then at Facebook, the Facebook page is Locs Takes also, LOCSTAKES. And then I think that's all my social medias. I have a Minds channel trying out too, but it's also Mr. Behavior if you're on Minds, because if we want talk about Tim Pool again, he got me over there. And then I think that's it. Yeah, that's all my things. You can find me on the internet. I'm all over Twitch. Also, if you like Twitch, twitch.tv/Mr. Behavior.
Well, thank everybody who came by and checked us out. I know there weren't a lot on the live stream, but I'm hoping we get some more back on the replay here. But if you're checking this out now and you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. That helps us move up the charts. It helps tell YouTube what people should be watching. And if you're just catching us now, you can catch us on YouTube on demand here as soon as it processes, or this will be uploaded to bitshoot.com. Like and subscribe on both of those if you haven't already. Or if you'd rather take us on the go, you can catch us on the audio platforms. Once again, that is going to be on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. And if you're on iTunes, leave us that 5-star rating and a good review. That helps us move up the charts. Lastly, go check out our website, freedomscoop.com, where you can find great creators like the Generational Gap, like Wyatt Birkenhoff, like Stephen Ignoramus. Go check us all out over there and look for changes coming to that website as things start to shuffle around over there, and there are some things that are going to be changing as well. So go ahead and check us out there. As we always say on this show, never take the words of bloggers, podcasters, or journalists as gospel. Find all the facts and draw your own conclusions. Chris, give us a last word.
Last word is potato.
Potato is the last word. Take care, everyone. Have a good night.
Later.